Hello all, welcome back. And in this session, we are going to learn why we need to use version control system. Okay, once you understand why we need to use this, definitely it's going to be very easy to learn. Okay, let's jump and take some real-time examples. Okay, suppose you want to build a web application. So I'm just creating. So you're going to start today itself, right? So this is your project. This is like my project, and you are the only one person working for project initially. Okay, my project. So normally, if you want to build any web application, you need at least bare minimum HTML file, CSS, and JavaScript. Okay. So even if you work with any Java or anything, you're going to use some files, right? So here I'm just creating index.html. Okay. And you can add some CSS index.css, and you can use some index.js file. Something like that. Okay. So in the first day you have created simple HTML file. So you have given like this is my first project something. Okay, fine. So first day is completed. You don't have any problem, and you went to home again. You came second day, and again you just opened the project. Okay, now you are not going to face any problem in the beginning. But in the second day, you have implemented lots of CSS. Suppose just put something container, and you have added like padding, pixel. Okay, suppose if you create any div or something, okay, margin 10 pixel, like that, you just added lots of CSS. I think just 10 minimum 10 lines of code. And in JavaScript also you have came and you just implemented some simple simple logic like custom logic, some functions, some simple X is there. Okay, just wait. I'm coming to the point. Don't worry. So you have implemented like suppose 100 lines of code. 100 lines of code. So right now I just mentioned only 15 lines. So like that you have implemented. And okay, you went to home and again third day you came, but you thought that okay, whatever you have implemented, that is wrong. Whatever you have implemented yesterday, you feel that this is wrong. So that you have done some changes to the code. Okay? You have done some changes to the code. The third day, something. For example, I'm just putting like empty comments. Okay. Okay. Again, you went home and you came back to the office on the fourth day, and you thought that okay, whatever you have implemented yesterday, that is wrong. Whatever you have implemented day before yesterday, that is correct. Okay. Understood what I'm saying? Whatever you have implemented the logic yesterday, that is wrong, and whatever the logic you have implemented day before yesterday, that is correct. But you lose that information, right? Whenever you delete that information, okay, and you have updated the logic, so that you will lose that information. So for that, what we will do, normally people do, right? They will save their work like this. So my project. So they will create another folder, usually daily work, some kind of thing. So they will copy this code. So suppose today, June 6th. So he will write whatever the changes he has done. Suppose I'm just taking example with three files, but in real time you have hundreds of files. So just imagine in that way. So you are working on multiple files, you are removing some logic and adding some logic. So you are doing a lot of things, but it's very difficult to remember what you have done yesterday. It's very difficult to remember what you have done 1 week back, right? Or 1 month back. But if you want, suppose you feel that whatever you have done, whatever you have implemented some function which is 1 month back, that is very important now, but you have deleted. So that's why people will do this. So what they will do every day, they will take a backup of that code. Suppose today is a June 7th, so they will either June 7th. Okay, the next day they will do some changes to the code and they will take a copy, and that is June 8th. Whatever the code you have implemented, whatever the CSS you have added, you normally people take the backup. Okay, but this how difficult is this to maintain, right? How difficult. Suppose if you want to maintain for 100 days, just imagine how things will. So this is simply a version control. Suppose what you are doing today, what you have done yesterday, what you have done day before yesterday, what you have done 2 weeks back, what you have done, and 1 month back, what you have done for your project for a particular file. You need to know, right? That means you are creating versions. This is the version 1, version 2, this is the version 3. Like that, you are going to create hundreds of thousands, sometimes thousands. Suppose if you are working for a project for 1 year, you need to take 365 days, means 365 versions of the code project. So it's very difficult to maintain all these things manually. For that, okay, I will tell you few more example important things why we need the version control system. This is one problem. This is going to be solved by the Git. Okay, Git is going to maintain all these versions beautifully for us. We no need to break our head, or we no need to take everyday copy like this. So understood? So it's very difficult to maintain the versions of your code. What you have done today, what you have done yesterday, what you have done 10 days back, what you have done 100 days back. Even if you are working on a project only one person, it's very difficult. So this is the step one. That means if you are working, the project is there, simple three files also. So if you have the project is there, three files are there, and one person is working. Okay, even if one person is working on three files, you should maintain the versions. You should maintain the versions. So version one, or otherwise version day one, day two, like that. Okay, you should maintain, right? You should maintain. Otherwise, it's very difficult to remember what you have done one week back. So this is the first important thing. And the second, so suppose if you maintain all these files locally, okay. Suppose if you are working alone on project, okay, you can maintain things in your local. That's perfect. And whenever you have completed your project, you are going to deploy and make it a production ready. Suppose, okay, as project grows, it's very difficult for one single person to complete the project. So that what you have done, so files also grown. Suppose right now you have 100 files in your project, and it's very difficult to work by a single person. So that you requested to your manager, and he just appointed two more persons. Now one project, like this is one project, and it has minimum 100 files, and three persons need to work on that project. So at the time, normally what you will do, suppose if you don't have a version control system, if you don't have a GitHub or Bitbucket or a GitLab, what we will do? So normally Suppose you will say, hey, suppose some other person joined. So what you will do, so what is the latest code is available in your machine, so you will make it a zip file. Okay, normally you will do, right? So we will make it, suppose if it has three files, you will just make it zip file, and you can attach to the mail, and they will start working. So just imagine you have only three files. It's very simple. You can forward just by doing a zip, and you can send it to the mail. Okay, if you have only three files, okay, it is possible to forward. But if you have 100 files, if you have 1,000 files, you are working with a Node.js. No, lots of Node modules are there, lots of files are there. Okay, lots of images, lot of things are there. It's very difficult to transfer through email, right? So for that, we need some tools and software. So in that process, okay, in the market we have three popular tools. Okay, what is a tool? And okay, those things I will explain. One is GitHub, another one is Bitbucket, another one is GitLab. A few other are there, but these are most popular things. So what they will do? Okay, they are maintaining the servers. They are maintaining the servers so that you can you can create your project. Suppose you can create. Usually we can call it as a repository. You can create a repository, and you can place all your 100 files here. Got it? You can place your 100 files or 1,000 files, whatever it is, into that repository. You can call it as a repository. Suppose you have a two projects. Okay. Suppose in your company, if you have a two projects, yes, you can create another repository, n number of repositories you can create. So that is repository number one, and this is a repository two. And suppose if you have a 60 files in that, you can place it. And suppose if you have a three people, yes, these three people is going to connect to this repository, and they can work on it. Got it? So these are the softwares or tools in the market. So GitHub is going to use Git, Bitbucket will use Git, and GitLab will use Git to maintain all this thing. These are the software, the tools, or like we can say the cloud platform servers where you can place, maintain your files. Okay, and okay, I will come to the next step. So now we understand. Suppose it's very difficult to transfer the files through email or something, so that we should maintain things on the server. Okay, whether it is a Bitbucket or GitLab or your own server, doesn't matter. Okay, right now. So you have three people. Okay, one person, one person is Raju is working, and Krishna is working, and Sonu is working. So you have right now, just imagine only three files. Normally, lots of files will be there. So Raju is working on the HTML. Okay, we have only one HTML file, and Krishna is working on CSS file, and Sonu is working on JavaScript file. We don't have any problem. So for that, what we will do normally in that, okay, in that repository, you can create branches. Suppose this is a repository. Okay, what you can do, you can create a branch one. Okay, branch one. So this branch one, Krishna is going to work, and branch two means the exact copy of that. So but normally we can call it the root one is a master. Okay, you can create branch one, branch two, branch three. Okay, and then you can, so Krishna is going to work on branch one, and Raju is going to work on branch two, and Sony is going to work on branch three. Fine. So he's working on CSS file, he's working on JavaScript file, he's working on HTML file. We don't have any problem. We don't have any problem. So that once he has completed his work, he's going to merge those changes to the master, that CSS file, and this Raju is going to merge the same file to the repository, and another one Sony is going to merge the same changes to the repository, because you have a copy. So even if you're completely beginner, suppose if this is the master, you have a three files, and Krishna also will get the same copy, and Raju also get the same copy, and Sonu also get the same copy of the master. Okay, individual copy. And he worked on HTML file, he worked on CSS file, he works on JavaScript file. Then he is going to match the changes of that particular JavaScript file. Because suppose here, for example, you have previously 100 lines of code. So he just added 2 lines. So now one or 2 lines of code is there. So this master, once you have completed the changes in the local branch, what you need to do? You need to add these 2 lines of code to the master, right? So whatever the code you have ch- changed, so that should be there in the master. So what you will do end of the day, so once you got the approach, okay, a lot of things are there. I will explain everything in detail, don't worry. So you should place those 2 lines to the master. So in the same way for CSS and others. So right now we don't have any problem. Okay. But sometimes what will happen? Sometimes what will happen? So these three people, okay, suppose the project is there, and three people are working. Three people are working. This is very, very important. So of course they will take a B1, and another person is going to work on branch 2, another person is going to work on branch 3. Okay, we have only 3 files. Okay, that is a JavaScript file. So here Sonu is also, because whatever the person 1 is also working on the same JavaScript file. Okay, person 2 is also working on the same JavaScript file, and person 3 also working on the same JavaScript file. Yes, sometimes we will work on the same JavaScript file. Okay, but we have only one file in the master, that is index.js. Of course, we have index.html, index.css, but today, like on June 6th, we have really, really important work. It's very difficult to complete by one person, so that we have assigned the same task to 3 people. So now, person 1 is working on a Java same index.js, person 2 also working on the same index.js file, person 3 also working on the same index.js file. So here 100 lines of the code is there. He just added 100 plus 5 lines. He just added 100 plus 10 lines, and he just added 100 plus 20 lines. So now what will happen? Once you have done, you are going to merge the changes from branch 1 to the master, and branch 2 to the master, and branch 3 to the master of the same file. So that what will happen? So there is a chance of conflicts, right? Suppose if we have a function, and this person is working, is done the changes on the same function, and this P2 person 2 also done the changes in the same lines of codes. At that time we will get merge conflicts. Okay, so how to solve that? That is very, very important. So here the problem number 1 is it's very difficult to maintain the versioning, and if 1 or 2 people are there, and even you if you maintain your own server, if you don't have a mechanism of this Git, what will happen? It's very difficult to handle all these merge conflicts. So I hope you guys understood up to some extent. So now, so instead of just maintaining our own servers, instead of just taking that to our head, like breaking our head, it's better to go with this either Bitbucket or GitHub or GitLab. Okay, they are internally they are using Git. They are everyone using Git. So Git is going to provide the commands, and suppose if you want to create a branch, you should take help from Git. If you want to create a So if you want to create a branch, if you want to check out the branch, and if you want to do commits, okay, what is all these commits and all those things we are going to learn step by step. I think suppose some of you already have a basic idea, that's why I'm just explaining. So everyone using the Git is a version control system. On top of that, these people are providing some software cloud platforms so that you can go and use those features. This is GitHub, and suppose Bitbucket. Okay, anything you can use either GitHub. There is no initially you don't get any problem. So GitHub is providing like most of the things are free. So that as a beginner level, we are going to use GitHub. And of course, Bitbucket is also providing 15 days trial version so that we can experience how we can work with the Bitbucket. Of course, GitLab is providing some more features. We have a trial version so that we can experience all these things. But majorly, while learning, we will use a GitHub, and we are going to experience how things we can manage with the Bitbucket and GitHub. Like fundamentally, three are same, but maybe they're providing some more features in terms of DevOps. Okay, some providing some analytics, some reports kind of thing. Other than that, both are three are same fundamentally. So these are the tools, and fundamentally this provides lots of commands for us to handle those repositories and creating a branches through some command line. I hope you guys understand. Simple. So I will just conclude one more time. So if you have three files, you are working one person daily, you should maintain. If you want to remember what you have done 1 week back, you should maintain the versions of that code. So it's very difficult to maintain like this, a daily work, and it's very difficult. So for that, we are going to take help from Git. How Git is working, so we are going to take some practical examples. And these three are the cloud platforms. They are providing services so that you can create, because they will provide some space so that you can create multiple repositories. So one repository for one project, one repository for another project, and suppose if you have 10 people, okay, and suppose daily if you have 10 tasks, so for each and every task we can create a separate branch, and once we have completed work we can raise a PR. Like PR means a pull request. Once our teammates approve that, we can go and merge those changes to the master, and from that master branch, and if you want to go for a production release, so you can cut some release branch from the master. Lots of things are going. Okay, so we are going to learn everything in detail with examples. So first, we can take a simple HTML file as a project, and we can upload into the GitHub, and we can understand how this versioning is handling with the Git. And later we can create a React project, so with lots of modules and lots of components, and then again we can use either GitHub or okay, this is GitLab or Bitbucket, whatever it is. So and how like multiple people is going to work. So we are going to set up the things, because we are going to work on our own project, so that we are building the platform for that. So I hope you guys understood a little bit. If you understand, just click on that like button so that it will reach to the more people. And if you didn't understand anything, no problem, don't hesitate. Just add things in the comment section, and I will try to explain much more detailed way. Thank you, and see you in the next session. So we are going to install the Git a local machine, and we are going to create a repository in the GitHub, and we can start learning. Thank you. See you. Bye.